Okay, now it's time for the sub-hour speedrun. So, just to show you real quick, we only have one achievement remaining, and that is to beat the game's first loop in less than 1 hour. Now, it says first loop because I mentioned this in the last playthrough, or I showcased it at the end of the last playthrough. But when you finish the game and start over, you go into what is known as the second loop, which is also known as New Game Plus, where you will have certain abilities. So, and yeah, because of that, it makes the game easier. Therefore, it will disable the achievement for the speedrun achievements. But thankfully, we don't have to go for 100% when it comes to the items, so that's actually good. And yeah, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do the route that I did for my first sub-hour playthrough, and thankfully there is a very special quirk that is actually allowed for this achievement, or for the speedrun achievements, which I'll mention when we defeat Ridley, because that's gonna come in when we defeat Ridley. So yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So 3, 2, 1, begin. Alright, so I'm gonna try not to pause the game so that, you know, we get the timer. We get the timer on screen, as you can see in the bottom screen. And basically, what we're gonna do now, and basically, when it comes to the beginning of the game, we're gonna do the same thing as we did last time, which is get the Marumari, the first missile tank, and then go for the energy tank and the bombs. And yeah, basically, we're going to cover that area. We're gonna cover that area completely. So yeah, once we get to the blue shaft, we want to go to the orange shaft, and then we want to go to the bottom and get the missile tank. Now for this run, we're only gonna get 2 missile tanks, and the reason as to why is because of the fact that Ridley and Kraid give you 75 when you defeat them, you will have plenty of missiles for Turian. Because the Zebetide doors, if you don't stall on them, they will take 8 missiles. However, I actually don't remember how much missiles does Mother Brain take, but if you're good on missiles, then Turian is not gonna be a problem. However, there is actually something very important that you want to know when it comes to Turian, which I will explain when we get to it. But yeah, basically we're going to. No, I'm not gonna risk it, because I'm gonna grab health to lose health, because that's how I work in this business, I guess. Alright, so we got the missiles. So now we're gonna backtrack for the energy tank and go get the bombs. And once we get the bombs, we're gonna go for Ice Beam. We're gonna go for Ice Beam, and then we're gonna go for Early Varia, and then we're gonna get the missile tank and energy tank that are after Varia. And after that, we're gonna go to Ridley, because yeah, I'm also gonna do Ridley first for this run, because Ridley is the farthest one away from Turian, and it's gonna take the most time getting to him. Am I going the right way? Yes, I am. Okay. So yeah, I do have some notes, which are basically a summed up version of the notes that I have for my full 100% playthrough. So yeah, we're gonna go to the end of this part to get the energy tank, and then we're gonna continue on to get the morph ball bombs. And yeah, basically, like similar to what I said. Oh god, similar to what I said in the main playthrough, is that the early game is the hardest part of the game because you have no health. Getting missiles is incredibly annoying, or restocking of missiles is incredibly annoying, and yeah, it's not fun. Alright, we got the energy tank. Sweet. Alright, so now we're gonna continue on and get the what's it called? And get the morph ball bombs. Okay. Nice dodge. Okay. So that's some morph ball bombs. And now we gotta grind for missiles to get ice beam. Alright. Oh no, how could you? Nothing. How dare you? Oh my god. And yeah, basically, grinding for missiles is definitely going to be the more time-consuming part about the run. But yeah, basically, I'm gonna make my way to Ice Beam and hopefully get the missiles that I desire. Those are not missiles. Stop giving me energy. Ow. Now, thankfully, when it comes to grinding for missiles, we only have to do it twice, because once we get the second energy tank, that's when the grinding is gonna slow down for a bit. Okay, so now we have the annoying aspect of grinding. So yay for that. Oh my god. Stop giving me energy. I want missiles. Okay, that's one. Thank you. Was that so hard to do? Nice. Alright. We got the ice beam. So now, we're going to go back to the orange shaft, and we're going to go up for the Varia suit. So yeah, for this one, we're going to skip the long beam. We do not need to get the wave beam. And yeah, we're going to be... Wow, okay. And yeah, we're going to... We're not gonna take unnecessary detours. That's basically the main thing about this run. Now that being said, if you don't feel comfortable with your amount of missiles, I would recommend you go out of your way to get some, but make sure that if you go out of your way to get missiles, make sure you get missiles that are easier to get, like some tanks in Kraid, some in Norfair, and I would even recommend cleaning up Ridley Slayer if you want. But I'm just gonna go ahead and just I'm just gonna try to be as efficient as possible when it comes to this run. Alright, so first up... Actually, I don't need to grind, because I can grind very easily with an enemy spawner. In the room before Varia. Or in the room before the, in the room before the room with Varia. Actually, yeah, you know what? Screw it. The room before Varia. Let's put it that way. Yeah, this room. Because in this room... one thing we can do is we can stay here... and just spam bombs and grind for health and missiles. Any day now. Thank you. Ow! You mother... No, wait, I'm gonna wait. Okay. I'll wait. I'm patient. I play Souls games. I play Tomb Raider games. Therefore, I'm patient. That's how it works, right? Alright, now for the scary part. Now, if you want... what you can do is get this guy up there, and you can actually use him as a platform. However, I'm gonna do the more reliable strategy the more reliable strategy for me, and that is to just glitch my way up there. And okay, I don't have to be like in the door frame. I need to be like here. Thanks, buddy. Oh, thank God. Okay. Oh my God, I thought I soft locked. Okay. But yeah, there's actually a little hole there, which explains why you need high jump to actually get the Varia suit. And dude, okay. Why am I struggling? This is not hard to perform. And okay, I guess it is hard. Never mind. So yeah, be careful not to scroll too high, otherwise you're going to warp to the bottom of the screen. And that's the scary part. Now, thankfully, because there isn't a lot of... Now, thankfully, because there's no wall to the right, if you get stuck on the wall, you can get out by just, you know, going to the right. But there we go. We finally did it. And for our rewards, we get early Varia. Now, you don't need Now, to be fair, you do not need Varia, but the extra defense is very appreciated in the long run. One HP, let's go. Okay. So now we're going to continue to the right to get the missile tank and the energy tank. And then after that, we're gonna go to Norfair. Alright, so 15 minutes. Good lord. Alright. So let's destroy the blocks for the secret hallway. You bastard. Alright. And E-Tank. Alright, so now we go back to the orange shaft. Not this shaft. And then we go to Norfair. Now, I guess if you didn't want to get the Ice Beam in here, you could try to get the Ice Beam and some missile the missile expansions in Norfair. But yeah, I decided to get it now just so I don't have to do unnecessary detours. That's the reason I just went for the Ice Beam in Brinstar. Oh no. Oh, come on. Now, the good thing about future Metroid games is that getting the speedrun and 100% achievements or tasks is very easy. But I would say that it's if you know what you're doing and if you know the insides and outs of this game, you could actually try to get 100% below an hour. However, I have never done that. To the point that, yeah, this is the only Metroid game where I have never gotten 100% and the fastest time ending in the same playthrough. I always do them separately. And that's mainly due to the fact that because there's a lot of areas in this game that are essentially huge detours, especially in Norfair, yeah, it becomes very... Yeah, it becomes very It becomes like it becomes a pressure essentially. Although that being said, I haven't played the other Metro games in a while, so maybe I will fail the speed run no matter what. So you know, especially considering that for Fusion and Zero Mission, the time has to be 2 hours, where in other games it's 3 hours. Well, at least Super Metroid, and I want to say 2 as well, or OG 2. Although I don't remember. It's been a while since I played the original 2. Also, Samus, get out of the lava. And yeah, getting out of the lava is very annoying in this game, especially if you don't have high jump. Speaking of, we want to go down in the purple shaft, and we're going to go for high jump. Nice shot. Oh my god. Okay. I eventually got it. Wait a minute. I'm going the wrong way. Oh my god. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, Jesus Christ. Also, the timer is gone. God damn it. But yeah, I'm going the wrong way. This is not the way to high jump. This is the way to, 2 missile tanks. Yeah, there's probably people just screaming at me, John, you're going the wrong way. You stupid idiot. You're taking all this unnecessary damage, you moron. And yes, you're right, I am a moron. And I'm gonna freaking die. Yeah, in my notes it says, go right and down. I should have gone, go right and down through the floor for high jump. Yeah, that was my mistake. I needed to be more clear on my notes. Well, that sucks. Alright, don't worry, we're back on track. Alright, high jump. Okay, so now, we're gonna take a little detour. Instead of going to Ridley, we're going to take a little detour and we're going to go and get Screw Attack, because Screw Attack is going to be very, very useful against pretty much airborne enemies, like the Multiviolas. Like this Multiviola. Hey, look at that. Now the problem is that I need to grind for missiles. You know, maybe I should have gone for those missiles in that accidental detour. Just saying. Although here's another good place to grind. Oh no, wait, never mind. Oh my god. Dude, get out of the way. Oh. Okay. Alright. Man, that was terrible. I'm sorry, everyone. I just completely screwed up. Alright. So let's go up here. And into this room to get Screw Attack. And hopefully not freaking die. Okay. So there we go. We got Screw Attack. Look at the Screw Attack. Oh my god, what are you doing? What am I doing? I'm gonna freaking die. At least let me die when I get to Ridley, you know? That would be a better... That would be a nice compromise, you know? Just saying. Okay. Now, thankfully... thankfully, that red door is the last door we need to worry about when it comes to grinding for missiles, because, now that we got, because the next, I believe the next red door we need to destroy is the one next to Ridley. Actually, let me check real quick. Oh no, it's the red door before the E-tank in Ridley. But as you can see, we have we already are more than 5 missiles, so that's nice. Alright. So now that we have the Screw Attack, we now go to Ridley. And basically the only item we get in Ridley is the E-tank. Because unlike other Metroid games where Ridley is only vulnerable to missiles, in this game, Ridley, you can hit Ridley with any weapon. I believe even the Morph Ball bombs, but I don't know because I never actually tried that. But yeah, let's go down into this egg room, I guess. Okay, let's not freaking die on the room before Ridley. Okay, let me get the missiles because I do want to make sure I have full missiles. Which, by the way, the missile total that I will have by the end will be 160 because of the 150 missiles you will get by defeating Ridley and Kraid, but also the 2 missile tanks that I got, which will, you know, add 10 more to that total. Okay, so here we are in Ridley. So now we're going to go to the left. Now, if you want, there is a missile tank up there. If you want to get it, you can go ahead and be my guest, but I'm not going to worry about it. Also, I'm gonna freaking die. Okay. I didn't freaking die. Now there is a block you can destroy. I don't know where it is. I think it's this one. Yes, it is. Now, if you're starving for missiles, you can grind with these hoppers with the screw attack. However, I'm not going to do that because I already have max missiles. But also, I'm not going to worry about health because there is an E-tank in this room. Now remember, there's a fake floor, which is the 2 blocks that are in front of me right now. So, make the... Well, shit. Okay, how do I want to do... Okay, so... Because I'm starting for health, I'm going to... I should take the death. Maybe I should take the death. Actually, you know what? Let's try not to take the death. But yeah, basically, I didn't show this pathway, but this pathway is here in case you miss the thing. Alright, you know what? Let's take the death. Let's just take the death. I don't care. I don't care. But yeah, you can actually go up that room, and you will actually end up on the door that is next to the... That is on the other side of that hole with the E-tank. Wow, 2 deaths. That is not good. Well, it could have been more in the worst case scenario. Although, to be fair, I haven't softlocked myself yet, so at least there's that. Alright. There we go. Alright. That death, you know, that death was completely intentional because, you know, I wanted to prove a point, I guess. Alright. So let's go to the end. Kill all of these bastards. And if you want, you can just go over here to get the missile tank, but I'm gonna bypass it. Alright. Alright. Engage Ridley, motherfucker. Let's go. So yeah, let's get past the thing. And let's shoot him until he dies. And let's shoot him until he freaking dies. Okay, let's not use turbo, because that would be a bit cheating. Now, you could use missiles if you want, but... yeah, I'm just gonna freeze him until he dies. I'm gonna help him get his cameo in Metroid Fusion, you know? Alright, and there we go. We got 75 missiles. And before we go backtrack, I'm gonna go ahead and get this E-tank. All right, and now I'm gonna show you a very fun technique that you can actually do. So what you want to do is in RetroArch, you want to go to Controls. You want to not RetroArch. You want to go to Settings. You want to go to Input. RetroPad Binds. We want to for device index, we want to put non-applicable, which will basically deactivate the controller in port 1. So as you can see, I'm pressing all these buttons and nothing's happening. And basically with my keyboard, I'm going to map the controller to port 2. And once we do that, I'm going to press up and A. I said up and A. Wait, what? Why is it not working? Okay, wait, hang on. Let me... Wait, what? Wait, what if I do both? Let's see. No, it didn't work. Okay, hang on. Okay, I have an idea. I have an idea. Give me 1 second. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna map, or I'm gonna plug in a second controller, which is a PS4 controller I have. And let's see if that actually works. Because I could map it to the keyboard. I could map port 2 to the keyboard. However, yeah, I don't wanna overcomplicate myself, so there you go. Alright. So let's go to port 2. Let's... Okay, there we go. DualShock 4 controller. And wait, let me go to the game menu. Oh, no, never mind. That's the controller configuration. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's see if it works now. No, it doesn't work. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work anymore, because it used to work. Okay. Okay, so A is circle. So up and A. Up and A. I'm pressing up and A and it's not working. What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna... Okay, what? Okay, seriously, what is going on? Okay.
Eventually.
Oh my god, I'm fucking stupid. Oh my god, I'm fucking stupid. Okay. So, you may be wondering, why does the password screen is there? Well, that is because, so yeah, okay. Let me explain. So, first of all, as you can see, we're back in the elevator. And yeah, I did pause because I was testing stuff and I accidentally, you know, didn't showcase this. But, basically, what you want to do, but basically, you may be wondering, okay, what did I do? Did I just kill myself? Did I just do something wrong? No, actually. What I did is I paused the game, and then what I did is I bound the port 2 controls on RetroArch so that I have up and A, the up and A button mapped. And basically, what you want to do is if you have a second controller, whether it's on original hardware or emulator, with the second controller, if you pause the game and press up, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you in the controller. So, oh wait, I gotta showcase this. If you press up and A, you will warp Samus to the beginning of the area you're currently at, which for every area that is in Brinstar will basically be the elevator. And yeah, as you can see, we are back at the elevator in Norfair. And as you can see by the bottom screen, the achievement for the Speedrun achievement is still active, meaning that using the warp feature is actually allowed. So yeah, basically, I thought that you just have to press up and A with the Also, I'm going to unmap this and this just in case. I thought you had to I thought that you just have to press up and A, but yeah, you have to pause the game before inputting that combination within with the second controller. So yeah, I had the right idea, but the order of the factors was wrong, or I was missing a key step essentially. But yeah, basically that's how you can actually get to. You can basically cut a lot of backtracking, which is thankfully very, very not bad. Which saves a lot of time, because yeah, going back from Ridley all the way to going from Ridley all the way to Kraid takes, I would say, around 5 to 10 minutes maybe. But yeah, that's basically the long story short of it. Okay, so now that we're in Kraid, the first place we want to go is the second red door, because this will give us an energy tank, and we need the energy, especially considering that you know, we want to not freaking die against Kraid. Alright, so let's wait for this googly eye mister. And let's get fully healed. Alright. Let's Okay. And now we want to. So now that we're done with that, so now that we're fully healed again, now we gotta make it to Kraid. Also, one of my cats is in the window. Hi! Alright, so let's drop down here, and let's make it. Okay, I guess we gotta use this Reaper. Now, these brown Reapers, you want to be careful, because you can actually destroy them with a screw attack. So yeah, be careful with that. Alright, so let's go through this room, because this room will take us to the shaft before Kraid, aka the worst room in the game. And yeah, because of the warp, we do not have to do this climb again. So, celebration, everyone. Now, I guess I should mention real quick that in this layer there is actually another Kraid that you can fight. However, it is not required to fight him for the mastery. Although that being said, you are required to defeat him if you're playing the GBA version. Oh, whoops. Which, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it later. Alright, so let's get inside him and bomb the ever-living crap out of him. Hey, look at that, we're bombing inside of him. We're bombing his insides, so that's a cool homage to Metroid Dread. How do people do this without taking damage? Like, I'm wondering. I believe you can actually freeze the needles. Yeah, well, you can actually freeze the needles. And there we go. Kraid is defeated, and we got 75 more missiles. Now, if you didn't get the energy tank in the first energy tank in Ridley, where you have to do that jump that I screwed up, what you can do is you can actually get this energy tank. You can actually get this energy tank by shooting the block, getting out of the acid, and then rolling from here. I guess I can show it. But yeah, you can just shoot it and then roll down from here, and you'll get your final E-Tank. And yeah, if you want, and yeah, basically that's a way to, that's another energy tank that you can actually get if you mess the jump in Ridley. All right, so let's warp back to the beginning, and then we're gonna warp one more time to Brinstar. And you may be thinking, oh no, we're gonna go to Torian with 30 HP. Whatever we will do. Actually, no, not really, because yeah, we're gonna get an energy tank before we enter Turian. Now, you don't have to warp back to the beginning right here, but it's much easier than climbing back out of the shaft, of the crate shaft. Yeah, this room right here. But yeah, the last E10 we're gonna get is in this room. So what you want to do is go over here, then cross through here, and then go back to spawn this guy. And then we collect the E-Tank. And we're gonna be fully healed. See, look at that. It's all according to plan, guys. It's all according to plan. Alright, and now we're gonna make a beeline to the top of the shaft. And once we get to the top, we're going to open the red room, or the red door before the bridge. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grind until we have max missiles, which is 160 in my case. So yeah, that door is the door to the orange shaft. This door leads to the long beam, which we do not need. And here's the door we gotta go through. Alright. So we're going to open this door. And now we are going to do a little grinding. Until we get to max missiles. And yeah, at this point, I don't know what my time is, but we will find out once we enter the bridge area, or the bridge room. But yeah, as you can see, because we're standing on the thing, the enemies are not spawning. So this is kind of similar to piranha plants in Mario. Okay, come on. Give me missiles. Give me missiles. I'm killing 2 enemies, I just realized. Because, yeah, we have 2 parts flying. Alright, you know what? Screw it. Let's just get it over with. Alright. So 1, 2. Oh, there's no timer. Oh, never mind. I guess we're not gonna know then. Cool. Oh yeah, because we got the timer saying that you're now on the run for 100%. Alright, Turian time. So, similar to the original run, we can just ignore everything. However, I do recommend that in the 4th room, you take out some of the Metroids. Especially the Metroids at the end before the Mother Brain fight. The Mother Brain room. Or before the door leading to Mother Brain. Okay. Now, another reason as to why you want to ignore the Metroids is because this game has what I like to call extra enemies spawners, where if you defeat certain enemies, or if you defeat Metroids, future Metroids will actually spawn in later in the room, which also applies to other rooms in the game. Oh, nice. Just what I needed. Okay. All right. 144. Yeah, that's enough. All right, Mother Brain. So what we're gonna do is we're going to freeze you. And shoot 8 missiles for the Zebetide doors. Now the good thing about the Zebetide doors is that if you want to grind for more missiles, what you can do is you can actually go back to the Metroid hall right here, and you may be thinking, "Oh no, we're going to despawn, or we're going to reset the Zebetide doors, right?" And I didn't even get missiles. Nice. Well, actually, if we go back, or every time you destroy a Zebetide door, as you can see, they will stay destroyed. So yeah, if you're struggling for missiles and health before the Mother Brain fight, what you can do is destroy the Zebetide doors, then go back and grind and kill Metroids for missiles and health, and you will just have a clear path to Mother Brain. Oh no. Oh, come on now. So yeah, just to show real quick. So we got one. Oh my god. I believe there's 4 Zebetide doors, but I don't actually know the exact number. Also, yeah, I'm actually gonna scroll the screen because that way we're going to despawn spawners behind us that will spawn Rinkas. Oh my god. Come on. Okay. I'm stuck. Alright, there we go. Epilepsy warning, cover your eyes. Okay, open your eyes now. Alright. Get out of here. Go. Oh my god, okay. And yeah, if it wasn't obvious, oh god, the spin jump is more uncontrollable than the normal jump. Now the problem is that the spin jump actually gives you more height. And there we go. And we did it! And what's our final time? It is 48 minutes. Wow. So yeah, we had a lot of time to spare. That is awesome. Alright. So now we're gonna wait for the piece being in space. And... come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Time! Ready for the magazine. And there you guys have it. Metroid. That runtime is fake. But we got Metroid on the NES mastered in 2 hours and 37 minutes. That is really good. And yeah, it could have been less, but because of my because of my port 2 shenanigans, yeah, it took a lot longer, which is whatever. It happened, so whatever. Alright, but there you guys have it. That is it for this mastery. So we're gonna go to once again to the grid and let's talk some stats. It's so nice to have these notes. It helps a lot, guys. Like seriously, get some notes. Alright, so Metroid on the NES. Now, when it comes to the difficulty, because of the fact that this game is... Now, okay, let me put it this way. If this game provided you a map and more quality of life improvements, like not spawning you with 30 health when you reload your save file, whether it's via the password system or the save file if you're playing the Famicom version, I would honestly say that this level or that this game would be a bit more simpler. However, because of the fact that this game does not provide a map, there are rooms that are basically the exact same, and not to mention that sometimes, in the worst case, they just repeat them back to back, which gives you the illusion of you going around in circles, which can be very confusing for first-time players. Not to mention that this game is what I would classify as a guide game, where, in my opinion, the best way to enjoy this game is with a guide, or at least have notes like how I did here. Because this right here is my 100% notes, and this is my sub-hour file. As you can see, it says sub 1 hour. But yeah, because of the fact that this is a guide game, and the best way to enjoy this game is with a guide or having notes. In terms of difficulty, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's not a hard game, but because of the fact that this game features the trademark NES jank and what's it called? And the oh my god. I'm drawing a blank. For some reason. Because of the fact that this game has the classic NES jank, and there's a lot of annoying aspects like death pits in Norfair, or some annoying rooms like getting out of the vertical room right outside of Crate's arena, where you have to climb the blocks and try not to fall off and have to reset. Yeah, there's stuff like that is very annoying, but yeah, with all that said, this game is not hard, but it's also, this game is not hard, and the game is not hard. And when it comes to the set, because of the fact that they basically don't ask you to do a lot of stuff, like okay, in terms of the hardest challenges, in my opinion, those are the speedrun achievements, because every other achievement you can just get eventually if you know what you're doing. Because what do we got for achievements? We got getting the upgrades, getting every missile, getting every E-tank, and that's basically it. And defeat the bosses, and that's basically it. So yeah, in terms of, and yeah, because this game is a huge game and getting lost is going to be inevitable if you're not using a guide, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty when it comes to the set. Now, in terms of the difficulty of the game and also the set when it comes to, again, if you're using a guide, because I'm just gonna say right now, if you're going into this game blind without using any outside help, I'm gonna be honest, I might give this game an 8 or even a 9 when it comes to difficulty. And you know, in the worst case scenario, I would even give it a 10 because of the jankiness and a lot of badly designed rooms that this game has. Like, again, the death pits in Norfair and the vertical room while trying to exit Crate's lair. Now, as for the quality of the set, I'm gonna give it a 6. It's above average, and unlike other... Oh, was there? Oh, whatever. Unlike other sets like the Crash 1 set, where the only aspect was to... Actually, why did I give it a 5? I'm gonna give it a 6 because, yeah, it's not because, yeah, if I give the set a 5, it's because there's no like there's not a lot of miscellaneous stuff that, you know, grants a full deep dive of the game. For example, Cyber Chase doesn't add anything with the exception of getting all items in the levels, which, you know, that alone is not gonna make it improvement. I mean, I mentioned it in the video, but I would have given it a 6 or a 7 if they decided to add damageless achievements, which fingers crossed that the revision. Fingers crossed that there's no revision that adds those, because Phantom Virus damageless is going to be a pain in the ass. But yeah, when it comes to the quality of Metroid, I'll give it a 6. And that's mainly because, like I said, with the exception of the speedrun achievements, there's really no... That was 3 hours and 12 seconds. That is not true. It says 2 hours and a half. So there you go. But yeah, when it comes to the But yeah, with the exception of the speedrun achievements, the only like challenging in quotation marks achievements that require you to go out of your way and fully explore the world is to get every missile tank and every energy tank. And not even every energy tank, since, you know, you only need to get 6 out of the 8 energy tanks in the game. So yeah, that's one thing that that's another thing that the game has it. I mean, if there's an achievement for getting the 2 optional E-tanks or doing other stuff, which I will talk about later, I would have probably given it a 7. Now, in terms of fun, okay, so in terms of the fun stat, I want to change the fun stat again. Because, yeah, when it comes to, in Crash 2, I divided the fun stat, I created the quality stat when I did Crash 2. And that is because the fun stat, I wanted to qualify how fun was the set, which, you know, which basically spoke of the quality, basically. However, in terms of fun, the fun stat, I'm going to change it again. And basically what I'm going to take into consideration with the fun stat is how fun was to master the set. Not how much fun I had mastering the set. Because if I were to rank the fun stat based on my mood, if I'm mastering a game while having a bad day, I will most likely give it. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I would most likely give it a bad score, and that would feel unfair for both me, the achievements, or for both me, the achievements, and the achievement set, because me having a bad day doesn't imply that the achievement set was not fun to master. So that being said, I will change the fun stat and basically relate it to how fun was to master the set. And in terms of, and when it comes to the previous 8 games, these numbers will stay the same, because even though there were some considerations taken into place when it comes to fun that I had, overall, when it comes to Crash 1, getting 100% is still fun, but there are levels that are really annoying, like fumbling in the dark, and there are some levels that are incredibly long, like Slippery Climb and Sunset Vista. Luigi's Mansion had the Hidden Mansion bullshit, which, yeah, I'm still giving it a 7. Cyber Chase was still fun, but like I said, the getting all Scooby Snacks in Arctic 2 is definitely the low point of the set, and in the worst case scenario, it can take you hours, which, considering that I did it on my 4th attempt, is a miracle. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea why I put Crash 2 at an 8, although I will say that the 8 is now justified because of the revision and the extra achievements that it got, which is, you know what? I'm very glad that I'm actually very glad, because if it weren't for the revision, I would put it at a 7, maybe a 6, considering that some time trial and box achievements are kind of annoying, especially the time trials with the bear levels, or specifically the 2nd and 3rd bear levels. And Kirby, yeah, it's an 8 still. And then Toy Story, it's 9, 10, and 7 for PlayStation, N64, and Dreamcast, respectively. The reason why Dreamcast is lower is because of the amount of bugs and glitches and a lot of issues that the Dreamcast version has, which is not a good thing. And as for Metroid, it was fun to master this game. However, like I said, the reason I'm giving it an 8 is because I'm putting into consideration that I'm using outside help to actually master this game. Because if I were to not have a guide while mastering this game, I would possibly give it maybe a 5. Because, again, getting lost is going to be inevitable, considering that there's no map feature. There's a lot of rooms that are just badly designed, like once again, the death pits in Norfair. and the vertical room while escaping Krait's lair. And other rooms like and you know, there's also a lot of enemies that do unnecessary amount of damage, and not to mention that enemies can deal damage to you as you're going through doors, which is probably the stupidest part about the game. But because I was using a guide and notes, this one was not that bad, and trying to find the most optimal route to get everything and not go into long and not do unnecessary backtracking actually did prepare me, actually made this playthrough it actually made this game more enjoyable, to the point that I can see myself revisiting this game more often, if you can believe it, because when it comes to the original Metroid and Metroid 2, there's no reason to play them anymore, considering that for Metroid 1 we have Zero Mission, and for Metroid 2 we have both AM2R and Samus Returns, which are fantastic remakes of the first two Metroid games. And yeah, at this point, and yeah, basically the only reason you would play Metroid 1 and 2, the original first two Metroid games, is to just see how the game is to either play every single Metroid game, or you want to see the humble beginnings of my favorite Nintendo franchise. And as for the hardest achievement, even though this set was not overall that difficult, I will give the top spot to Ready for the Magazine. And that's mainly due to the fact that you basically have to find the most optimal route to get to Ridley, Kraid, and Turian, and not going to too much detours, unlike the detour I did. In fact, so I beat the game in 48 minutes, and I'm pretty sure that if I didn't do the warp technique or the warp trick, I'm pretty sure that I would have either barely got it or I would have missed it for like a couple minutes. But yeah, because I was able to use the up and A, the warp secret, I managed to get it. So there you go. But yeah, overall, because of the fact that it's a speed run and it's a 1 hour speed and it's a sub-hour speed run, yeah, this one definitely takes the cake. Now, this is the point where I would usually just end the video and prepare you for the inevitable, which, yeah, as you can see, the next game we're tackling is Crash Warped. So yeah, 112 achievements, 30 platinum relics. God help me. It's going to be awesome. But, as you can see, similar to Cyber Chase, we do have other versions. But we also have a new type of thing when it comes to this series. However, before we touch that, we're going to talk about the other versions. So, oh my god, really? Nice. So, Metroid has two versions. It has a version for the GBA, which I did mention in the original in the main playthrough, and there's also a version for There's also a version for the GameCube under Metroid Prime, which is technically a subset, but we'll talk about subsets in a later bit, which is why there's an asterisk in the GCN. But basically, the GBA version, it has 34 achievements, and it has the typical achievements like getting all the power-ups, getting all the missiles, all the E-tanks. However, it also has some interesting achievements. Like, for example, we have getting all items and open all non-blue doors before entering Turian, which is kind of interesting considering that if I look back at the map that I used, let me see real quick. I think I actually did open every door. Or every red door in the game. Which, yeah, that seems to be the case because... yeah, that actually seems to be the case. So, Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So I would have gotten this achievement if I was playing the GBA version. And then we have other sequence-breaking achievements, like getting the Vari suit before getting the high jump boots, or getting the screw attack before getting the ice beam. Which, yeah, that one is gonna be interesting because I haven't tested that one yet. Although, oh yeah, because you need the ice beam sort of to get past the walls after getting the high jump boots. So, huh. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I actually want to try that out. Yeah, I'm actually gonna try this set eventually. And then we have Inturian with the wave beam, open all the doors and enter Mother Brain's room, which yeah, we basically need to tackle Turian with the wave beam. And then we have find and defeat the fake Kraid. But then we have these 3 achievements, which are beating Kraid, Ridley, and Mother Brain without taking damage. And okay, Mother Brain is actually feasible, considering that you don't have to do the entire Mother Brain room, which includes the Zebetide doors in this exact run, because as you see, starts with first missile hit, which is, the first missile hit you shoot into Mother Brain. And Ridley is without question the easiest one, considering that, with the exception of the beginning, there was no fireballs that got me during the speed run. However, Kraid, oh my god, I have no fucking idea how I'm gonna do Kraid no damage. Which, considering that it's a cluster when it comes to that fight. And then we have, and yeah, basically those damageless achievements are the scary part. But then we have this one, which is escaping Turin with at least 777 in the time remaining. And then we have the speed run. We have the... Oh my god, I forgot. I keep forgetting the name. But... I was gonna say Milton Guasi, but no, that's the developer of Aim2R. No, I forgot the name. I forgot the name of the suit. But it's basically the non-zero suit Samus suit for Samus. And then we have the invincibility frame, the invincibility cheat code, which will disable achievements. And then we got beat the mission without dying. But then we got the scariest one, which is the minimalistic bounty, which is beating the game without the Varia, screw attack. Without getting Varia, screw attack, only 155 missiles and 2 energy tanks. And basically, because it says 155, it means that you're only allowed to get one missile tank throughout the entire game, and only 2 energy tanks. And I will say that I don't see that being that terrible, with the exception of the Kraid fight and Mother Brain. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually interested on seeing how this achievement is gonna go. But yeah, overall, this one is definitely more difficult and definitely has more meat to it than the NES version, to the point that just looking at this, if I were to rank it right now, in terms of quality, I would give it an 8. I would give it either an 8 or a 9, just because of the extra stuff that you have to do, especially considering that, you have the achievement for finding and defeating the fake Kraid, which is something that, believe it or not, I have never done in all of my playthroughs of this game. Yeah, finding the fake Kraid would actually be pretty interesting to do, or will be very interesting to do. And just to touch about it, the GameCube version of Prime, it's basically the exact same as the GBA version. However, the only difference is that it has less achievements. But yeah, basically we have the typical stuff. Defeat the bosses damageless. However, And as you can see, enter Turian and then reach the Zebetide hallway without possessing the Ice Beam. So it's the same as the other one. This time that it doesn't mention that you have to use the Wave Beam. But then we have this achievement, which is destroy all the Zebetites and destroy Mother Brain without leaving or taking damage. Which, yeah, that's something I'm not gonna do yet, considering that I'm not very good at this game. And then you have less time to escape Turian, and then you have even a more harder minimalistic run where you have to collect 0 energy tanks. So, you know, that's gonna be very interesting. That's gonna be a very interesting subset to tackle. And yeah, this is gonna, and yeah, as you can see by the grid, Metroid is our very first game that has a subset. Now, I did talk about this in the Crash 1 sessions, or in the Crash 1 playthrough that you can check on my archives channel. But long story short, subsets are basically extra achievements that you can get for a specific game. However, the achievements in said subset are achievements that would usually not be applicable to include in a main set of a game. And basically, I will mention this in the Metroid video on the main channel, but in my experience, I can divide the subsets into 4 different categories. The first category is insanely hard. The first category is glitch showcases, which basically consists on exploiting glitches to get specific achievements. Which, just to share real quick, as we're talking Metroid, a very good example would be the Super Metroid subset, which involves doing glitches like moonfalling down the old Turian, get to Spore Spawn, or get the Spore Spawn Super Missile before fighting Spore Spawn, and then which is probably one of the most interesting ones, which I don't know where it is, but basically you have to do. But basically, in this subset, you're basically required to defeat or to beat the game while doing the reverse boss run, which is basically defeat Ridley first, then Dragon, then Phantoon, and then Kraid. So yeah, it's kind of scary if you ask me. It's a very interesting one, to say the least. The next category would be extra content. Which basically relates to DLC, multiplayer mods, extra content for a game. Like for example, the Mario Advance 4 has a subset. Mario Advance 4 on GBA has a subset that is related to the e-reader levels, which for those who don't know, it is actually bonus content to the game, and also includes regional variants. For example, the Japanese version of Metroid Fusion, which includes a buttload of achievements that, you have to basically beat the game a lot of times, which it is something I'm gonna do, which for the record. Now, the next category of subsets is what I like to call challenge runs, which are basically playing through the entire game, but this time doing a self-imposed challenge, like doing Like, for example, beating Kingdom Hearts on Proud Mode level 1, doing like a specific challenge run in an RPG, or my personal favorite challenge run that I've done, which is a Mario Sunshine 100% hoverlet without using the hover nozzle, which is by far one of my favorite challenge runs I think I've ever done in a video game. Which, for the record, it boosted Mario Sunshine. It's the main reason as to why, it's one of the biggest reasons as to why Mario Sunshine is my favorite 3D Mario game, because mechanically it is a fantastic game. Because mechanically it showed the mechanical aspect of Sunshine more than any other game, to the point that mechanically I would say is the best controlling Mario game, period. Even better than Odyssey, if you can believe it. And then we have the fourth category, which is what I like to call the bullshit hard achievements, where you basically have to do insanely difficult challenges that not even that you would have to be a supreme master to pull them off. And the biggest example I can think of, that I'm currently doing, by the way, is the God of War 2 subset, where you basically have to defeat every single major boss on the hardest difficulty Titan without upgrading your health, magic, or weapons. But also, you have to defeat every single major boss, including the Colossus of Rhodes, without taking damage on the Titan difficulty. And okay, to give you perspective, I currently have the Colossus damage list. However, I'm currently working on the no upgrades run, just to give you a bit of perspective, just to give you guys some reference. Now, and yeah, let me just say right now that it's hard, especially considering that I already did that when I mastered the main set of God of War 2. So, yeah, I made myself the testing ground, essentially, to see if it was possible, and spoilers, it is possible. Now, when it comes to the Metroid subset, what does this subset go in, land? In what category does it land? Well, it lands in what I would like to say is the secret fifth category, which is a combination of some of the aspects of the last four categories. Because for this subset, we have categories that require glitches, challenge runs, and also insanely hard challenges. Like, for example, beating the game in under 6 minutes using the certain codes, reaching fake crate in under 3 minutes, what's it called? Doing, where is it? Getting soft locked. Yeah, let's see. Your game will be soft locked. Performing feats that will get you soft locked, which I classify that as glitches. And yeah, it has a lot of things which are pretty insane to perform. And as you can see by the most points earned, only 5 people have mastered this subset. 5 people. Now, you may be thinking that, you may be wondering, now that I said that, will I eventually, tackle this subset? And long story short, no, I will not do it. And the main reason as to why is because I did discover that, yeah, as you can see right here, because of some, you can actually check this comment right here, but because of some technical problems in the game and the emulators and the specific emulator you want to use for this subset, it is actually impossible to fully master this set. which is kind of a shame considering that, you know, usually when there's achievements that are impossible or broken, they would usually get fixed. Which I have experienced, by the way, because when Tomb Raider Anniversary got a PlayStation 2 achievement set, the time trial achievements were broken because even though I was able to beat the time trials, I was not getting the achievements. So after a couple of weeks, the developer actually fixed the achievements, and I was able to master one of my least favorite Tomb Raider games. So good for you. So thank God. But yeah, when it comes to me tackling subsets, I will sometimes tackle subsets that falls on categories 2, 3, and 4. Which essentially means that when it comes to the subsets that require you to exploit, to perform or do some game-breaking bugs and glitches, that is where I draw the line, because I'm not a speedrunner, and I don't like to perform glitches that would essentially make the game unplayable or straight up break the game. Now, I say that considering that I did a wall jumping glitch to get Various Suit early. I know that, but unless it's a glitch that I'm comfortable doing, like getting Varia early by glitching up through the wall, or skipping the casino section in Mario Sunshine to go to the secret pipe, which is something that I always do when I have to go for the red coin shine. I will perform those glitches, even if they are not required to employ, essentially. But when it comes to the overall aspect of glitching through games, it is one part of gaming that I am not comfortable with doing, and it's something that I will bypass unless I get comfortable doing it, and it's also easier to pull off. But yeah, with that very long explanation when it comes to subsets out of the way, yeah, that's basically what the Metroid subset has in store for us. Now, as you can see, Crash Warped has a subset. However, I'm not gonna talk about it now, because I'm gonna talk about it when we master this beautiful game. And also, I guess I should give you this right now. The game after Crash Warped will be Alien Trilogy, which is going to be my October. My October, or my horror game quota, basically. Since I will do Crash Warped on October, although to be fair, the Platinum Relics are terrifyingly enough to grant it to be considered as a sort of horror game. So, you know, it makes sense. But yeah. Next up, we have our 10th mastery, which will be Crash Bandicoot Warped. And, yeah, I am not looking forward to it. Although, like I said, I did mention this, but for the Platinum Relics, I will do my very first live stream. So, if you want to see me lose my sanity real time, then you want to make sure you tune into my main channel, and yeah, you want to make sure you get the bell icon to get notified on when I'm going to do live streams. But yeah, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching my Retro Achievement Mastery of Metroid for the NES. Again, I am so sorry that I wasn't able to do the New Super Mario Bros. Achievement set. And again, the main reason as to why I didn't do it is because of the fact that I want to have a second Retro Achievements video done by the end of September, or before going to October. And the achievement set is very big. Not to mention that OBS was giving me a lot of shit, because OBS fucking sucks now when it comes to recording specific RetroArch consoles. So yeah, that's great. Thanks for that, RetroArch, you piece of shit. Alright. But there you guys have it. That's all I got for you today. Thank you all for watching this mastery. And yeah, I will see you all next time for Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. But until then, this is Jonathan Wolf. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in my next mastery playthrough. Take it easy, everyone.